um, we were getting off of the boat and trying to figure out where to go to find an inn to possibly rest and recuperate. And we were told to go to a specific street that had something to do with fish. I don't remember the name of the street though. And
Fishmonger Street, something along,
yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. And Galleon tried to help lead us around, and unfortunately we got very lost in the fog, and very turned around, and ended up going into a shop. I think, wasn't the shop I think it was like an armorer or like a...
It was a woodworker.
Woodworker? Okay, that's what it was. I was just remember he was very, very proud of his work.
Yeah, he has good work.
Yeah. And we talked with him and got some information for trying to figure out where we were going, but also got some good warnings about being out at night, because of things going on, and the storm. I forget. I think there was something else he told us, but I can't remember what it was.
He told us some history about the town.
Yeah, just kind of about where we were at.
Yeah.
And then we oh, hi, goodbye dogs. Then we eventually left, and I don't remember if it was after this point we decided to split up a little bit and have the investigator go try to find Danae, and possibly anything about Carmine. And we went to go find the inn. Oh, dog trying to ask for out. Hi, Mary. Come here. And Forrest found a rat. Was talking with the rats.
Yeah, just casually.
Just casually. And then somebody killed a bunch of the rats. But Forrest kept one safe. And he had a funny name.
Oh, right. Scott, what was the name?
I'm not sure if he...
What was it?
What was the rat's name?
The rat's name was Scurry.
Scurry. Yeah. And Scurry wanted a fish in return for helping. I'm pretty sure, didn't Scurry help lead us around to the inn?
Yes, and also gave us information on like, who Carmine was.
Yeah, lots of information was given by Scurry, the rat.
Scurry the good boy.
Yes, very good boy, and just wanted a good fish in return. We got to the inn, and Forrest decided to go find that rat, Scurry a fish, and Galleon and Fenice tried to get us a room. Or rooms, and we had to make the decision between one room with just 2 beds and some cots, or if we also wanted to get an additional room. but we were getting lots of weird looks, and so as soon as we made our decision, we ran out of there as quick as possible. A little bit worried about that. I think it was at this point we ran into and had to talk with some tradesmen who did not like the sight of Galleon. Apparently, Galleon and his sect of knights. I don't know what the right word for that is.
An order.
Yeah. Order. Yeah. Apparently, they're like no go in the area. They didn't like them. And Galleon was getting some heated responses. And they didn't like Fenice either because he looked too pretty and was wearing a really fancy cloak. And so they thought he was like rich and shit. And so they didn't like him until they realized he was a tradesman. And but even then they didn't really like him very much.
You were like kind of back to neutral. Galleon was still that twat over there.
Yeah. A prostitute.
Yeah, oh yeah, that too. They thought I was a prostitute. I was too pretty. I must have been a prostitute. Then we met. Oh, while Form was out looking for the fish for the rat, he came across in a very spooky way the rat that formulate the Rat King or have to do with the Rat King. Not quite clear, but really spooky. And I forget how much more we did after that. We kind of just met back up and we're like, what do we do? Who do we go after? Carmine? Danae? Oh no, we don't really have time.
Speaking of Carmine, as we met back up, Scurry, the good rat, turned into not a good rat.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Give me 2 seconds. Stop this stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Scurry became started speaking and being Carmine, and who told us that essentially we only had so much time essentially, and we had to choose between going after Danae or going after him. That's what set off the debate of like, oh no, what do we do? Because it was like, oh shit, clearly Carmine's doing some bullshit. And it was like lots of threats.
Oh, soda pop. Okay.
I don't remember the specifics enough though.
Alright.
Oh my god, food! No, I'm good.
Alright, would anyone else like to finish off the recap? With what's a Carmine possessed Scurry said?
Do I have specific terms that were used? Okay. I didn't write down exactly the verbiage, but I do remember roughly. It was what's her name? Danae. If we wanted to get Danae, we better stop her before she gets her feet wet. Which might be in relation to previously in the day when the kind woodworker told us about their mother who went into the ocean and came back and was very much not the same person. That's an assumption on my part, though. That was... yeah. Ingram seems to be getting in over his head, I believe is what it was. So, his investigation might be getting him in trouble with the local townsfolk, or more likely he might get munched up by a rat king that showed up in the streets. And then I think it was pretty straightforward of saying, like, hey, if you're coming after me, here's where I am, and was just basically pointing at the warehouse. I believe that is accurate. And we're just kind of left up a creek without a paddle. I'm like, well, I guess not up a creek. We know exactly what creek we're at, and we can choose a paddle. What paddles do we want to choose? I think that's about it. I think. Maybe possibly.
Alright then. In that case, since y'all both participated, you guys both get a luck point.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Let's see, what day is it? Hot.
Thank you. Wasn't expecting that reaction, but fair enough.
Fucking awooga.
There we go. That's what I was hoping for.
Oh no!
Is that I'm into gastral exchanges.
Oh no!
Oh.
Well, we'll return to that conversation never. Anyhow.
Understandable. You know what? Pop off, they them.
Alright, so you guys are all in the room. Waiting, talking to one another. Debating what to do with this information. You know, Danae and... Well, at least from what you can tell. Danae and Carmine are on opposite sides of the coast.
Hey, because we have a good idea of where the bell is, too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
I have a couple of thoughts.
Verbalize them. Hop off.
So, I was trying to think earlier on this, and I'm realizing our dilemma kind of comes down to what we have the possibility to lose. What happens if we don't do things? Because, so with the obvious choice to go after and to possibly see, feel the need to go to do is going after Carmine. But I'm worried with Danae, especially with that very particular warning from Carmine, is that Danae is gonna be, if we go after Carmine, then, I'm worried that Danae is gonna be essentially activating in some sort of way, or as a part of the beginning of whatever this overarching power, this eldritch horror, whatever its plans are. I feel like it's even possibly likely that Carmine is too full of himself and is gonna get himself yeeted by this eldritch horror, thinking that it'll help him when really it has a completely different plan. Because the thing is we don't actually know what Carmine's plan is. We know some pieces, but there's still an overall mystery as to why he's here. Danae got called here by the fucking horrors of the deep. And I'm worried that we should be much more worried about her. Because at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to, if we split up, we're definitely not going to be able to take on Carmine split up. I don't even know if we would be able to do that with the investigator and Danae. But we definitely wouldn't be able to take him on split up. And at this point, now that Danae's on the island, I think it's going to take all of us in order to be able to keep her out of the water. And if she gets in the water, I don't even know if we'll be able to stop what's coming.
So it sounds like you have a little bit of a priority list of...
But I'm also worried that by picking up a priority list where I'm just trying to see if y'all have any other... That's what I'm worried about. I want to know if y'all have any other plans or worries that changes any of that. Essentially.
Well,
I think for me
the
it's
thing
more
is-
affirming, but yes, go on.
we know where Carmine is.
Hmm.
We know where he is. We have been given this arbitrary time limit by him.
Mhm.
We don't really know if it's arbitrary or not, but it feels
Well, the
like
time
it
limit
might
we
be.
do have is the 1 day.
Right. Considering his
Yeah.
desperation in the case, he might actually not have as much of a time limit as we think.
Yeah, like it might not
But
actually
also,
be
one day something will happen.
Scott.
Yeah, sorry, I keep talking to you.
You're good. I will say, because what was it? I did talk to Scurry about like
Mhm.
roughly where Danae might be, but even then, that's still rough. Not knowing where Danae is, I feel like is a much more poignant thing than not knowing where Carmine is. Because it might like be beneficial to be like, find Danae, and then we might have time to go get to where Carmine is. We know pretty much where Carmine is. Not exactly, but like
And
roughly.
if Carmine, whatever Carmine is doing, has to do with the eldritch horror that is whatever this storm is going on and all of that, then we may well end up running into Carmine by searching for Danae.
Potentially.
Yes.
And then we just leave Ingram to do his business and pray he just lives.
Well, I
he
thought
come
Ingram
with
was going after Danae.
Yeah.
Yep. He's going after Danae, and he, and based on y'all's conversation on the boat that you had with him before, as well as beforehand, he is heading towards where y'all essentially said that the diving bell is likely to be.
Okay. So at the
Which
very
is
least,
also-
that seems to be
which from
convergence
context-
point.
Which, from context clues, also seems to be where Danae is,
Mhm.
based on what the conversation you had with Clarice.
And depending on when we go there, it'll probably be where Carmine is as well. But that's an assumption.
It might.
Might be. Who knows? Maybe he's literally just hiding out here at this point. It's like, oh god, I don't have any lifelines. Besides one suicidal rat boy.
And even then,
He's not a lifeline, he's the sacrifice to maintain the spell.
Mhm.
and Boris is definitely more than willing to take that. Take that. Yeah, he now doesn't want to die as much, but like, if it means that Carmine dies.
Yeah. He's not as suicidal, but he'll take the bullet.
Yeah.
He'll go for the 2-for-1 special. He's getting that BOGO dealie.
He will take
Okay. So, what do we want to pursue then?
I think
Specific.
I think Danae.
I think it might be worthwhile to go and find Danae.
Because Danae, we might even be able to convince Danae to come with us to go to Carmine. And then we have an extra person for that.
And possibly Ingram is already with her, and so then we'd have 2 extra people.
Exactly.
I doubt he'd be there with her, but maybe. I don't know. It's just a situation that's hard to tell. Okay, so we want to find Danae. We want to go chase down Danae. Do we want to do that immediately? Or do we want to wait? I have a hunch on where people are going to vote.
Be in the water.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wanted to provide the option. It's like, there's like a 95% chance, but there's also one option over the other. There's a 5% chance that maybe not. So, move ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
Danae. Context clues that I didn't pick up on. Danae's on the other side of the island? Or the other coast? Other side of the coast?
From what y'all were told over the past few sessions, you were told that the diving bell should be at the far port, under a bluff beneath a lighthouse, which the lighthouse is basically situated on a cliffside, and underneath that cliffside is the bluff where the diving bell should be. This is also where you get the sense, based on what you've been told, given that Danae was looking for the diving bell, that is where Danae will also be found. And you know where the lighthouse is because it's a lighthouse, and its
purpose is to be seen.
They are, by definition, meant to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can see the rotating light swishing through the dense fog.
Just book it to the lighthouse then?
We have to worry about the Rat King, though. That is out in the street. Possible Rat Kings in the street. So, is there anything that... Forrest, you got any ideas? I don't know enough about rats, my man.
Is Scurry still knocked out?
Yuri seems to slowly be coming to his senses.
Okay.
Because
I was gonna say, because if anyone is going to help us navigate the rats, it's the rat.
Yeah.
So
Scurry would sort of like slowly come to.
Yeah.
As your gaze draws upon him.
Scurry.
In fact, it's almost as though as your gaze draws upon him, he almost just starts to awaken very rapidly by it.
You called it to service.
Yes.
That was a lot, dude. Are you good?
Of course. Of course I'm good.
Do you know what just happened?
I got tired.
Okay, I think we have different definitions of tired. Do you think you just fell asleep?
I got very tired, and now I'm in your lap. I don't know what happened between those two.
Okay, do you want me to tell you?
No.
No.
Okay. So, can I tell you what the other thing that might be happening soon is?
Yes, I get the sense I need to know.
So we're gonna try and go out to find the lady that I told you about.
Okay.
But there are rat kings out there.
No. It's not. It's not.
Is it just one?
There is the Rat King.
Okay.
And there are swarms of rats which it embodies.
Okay. Now, last time you said
like a
you
body
had...
with like a body with many hands.
Okay. Last time you said you felt called.
Yes.
Do you want to unpack this, or
do we have time to?
Oh, we can have a little bit of time to. Do you right now want to go and be part of the Rat King and the swarms?
No.
Okay. So, if we go outside and that changes, can I take your no as a no for then, when your mind might not be so clear?
If you're asking me if I would want to, I never would want to. I never have wanted to.
Okay.
But want isn't really a factor here, is it?
But what the point, I guess, is here, is we have to go outside, because we have to go and find this lady.
Oh.
You are important, and I will keep you safe. But I want to make sure if we go out there again, and you say you want to be part of it, that, like, we can talk about this ahead of time. And I can gauge if you, like, actually want that or if it's just in the moment. Do you see what I'm trying to say here?
See. Okay.
Because I don't think it'd be good for you to be part of that.
I think it's gonna be okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know
Okay.
why. I just got a hunch.
Alright. I will take your word for it. I will keep you safe, and I will not let you become part of the swarms.
Thank you.
Would you like to eat a little bit more of your fish before we go?
Looks at the fish and just tears it.
Cool. Get your strength back, bud. Alright. I'm gonna turn to the other two. So it sounds like he's coming with us. If
About
it
as
gets
expected.
fucky, I will take responsibility. Seeing as he is my little friend now. And hopefully he can help guide us around the Rat King and the swarms.
It would be
By the way,
helpful.
just one Rat King.
But there's swarms of
Which
rats.
And swarms of rats. Connected to the Rat King.
Very concerned with Ingram being out there still now. Oh no.
True.
Ooh, yeah,
Okay.
that's true. We all kind of forgot about him, didn't we? Or at least I did.
No, I didn't forget about him. That's why I brought him up.
That's fair. I forgot about him. I'll say it.
All right. In this foggiest and it's somehow both foggy and windy. The feeling like when a plane is flying through a cloud. That's what it feels like. The air is dense and whitish gray. Any form of light casts glare throughout the fog.
Okay, that's my question.
But the wind blows hard, nonetheless. Rain falls like arrows streaming from the sky. Do you guys exit the building?
I think we have to.
All right.
Yeah.
I
As
don't
you do,
think we have a choice at this point.
you can see a color of lightning you've never seen before. A purple, almost gray-black lightning streaking across the clouds.
So that's fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
And
It's definitely unnatural.
it seems to constantly stop above the lighthouse. And then strike the lighthouse.
Okay. So it's definitively going towards it and then into it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a lead.
And seemingly a guiding path. As
Yeah.
crow flies, at least.
Don't you mean the Raven?
Hey. He does two finger guns at you, like, hey, he got the joke.
As you guys step out into the street, you can see a swarm of rats is running away from the lighthouse and up towards an abandoned warehouse you can see off in the distance.
So
It is a
Carmine's
sea of rats.
Carmine's definitely where the rats are going. Let's go where the rats aren't going. Quickly, quietly.
Off in the distance, you can hear someone scream as they're just as a swarm just seems to engulf them like waves of water. And you can hear the sound off in the distance. You can hear the sounds of flesh and clothing and bone being shredded through.
This is kind of my worst nightmare. And again, quietly.
All right. So let me pull up the
Let me get my
Yeah.
Cock Knight sheet out real quick.
your Clock Knight sheet.
Yeah,
Cock,
'cause
cock,
he's a
cock.
Cock Knight, and it's a sheet for the Knight of Cock.
It's cock night.
The Knight of Cock. Yes.
I
Triumphant.
protect against the pussy.
No.